You're watching NASA TV.
Good day from Mission Control in Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room as we begin our coverage today of U.S. Spacewalk number 76, the third spacewalk in the last 9 days for NASA astronaut Shane Kimbrough and European Space Agency astronaut Thomas Pesquet as they are preparing to venture outside of the Quest airlock once again to install, unfold and unfurl the second of two ISS rollout solar arrays that are being installed on the International Space Station to provide a total of 120 additional kilowatts of power to augment the electrical capability of the International Outpost. You are looking live inside the Quest airlock 1 month shy of its 20th anniversary of use on the International Space Station. On the right side of your screen is Pesquet. He once again is playing the role of EV1, or extravehicular crew member number 1, wearing the suit bearing the red stripes today. On the left is NASA astronaut Shane Kimbrough. He'll be wearing the unmarked suit as EV2, or extravehicular crew member number 2. These two astronauts, members of the Expedition 65 crew, are about to make their fifth spacewalk together. The first two spacewalks that they conducted were back in 2017. This is their third spacewalk in this series to install the new ISS solar arrays. This is the 241st spacewalk in the history of the International Space Station for assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. The 9th spacewalk out of the International Space Station this year, the 9th in Kimbrough's career, with a total of 52 hours and 43 minutes of spacewalking time to date. For Pesquet, this will be his fifth spacewalk, his 4 previous excursions in the vacuum of space totaling 26 hours and 15 minutes. The two astronauts have been suited up for the past couple of hours. They have been pre-breathing pure oxygen to cleanse the nitrogen out of their bloodstreams, preventing any condition known as the bends or decompression sickness from occurring when they step out into the vacuum of space. Most recently, they've been conducting what is called lightweight in-suit exercise protocols to slightly elevate their metabolic rate and hasten the dispersion of nitrogen out of their bloodstreams. They are all set to go, and in fact, you can see Kimbrough on the left being assisted by NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hei and Megan MacArthur in the foreground as they prepare to install SAFER units, or Simplified Aid for EVA Rescue units. Those are the jet-powered backpacks that each spacewalker wears all the time to help them propel themselves back to the safety of ISS structure in the highly unlikely event they would become untethered during the course of their spacewalks. The first two spacewalks in this series, conducted on June 16th and again last Sunday on June 20th on Father's Day, were designed to install the first of these two ISS rollout solar arrays. You can see in this replay the first of those arrays for the 2B power channel on the Port 6, or far port truss of the International Space Station, being unfurled after it was finally installed with a little bit of elbow grease to the mounting bracket, a mod kit as it is called, at the base of the mast canister on the Port 6 truss on the far left side of the International Space Station. These arrays are innovative new solar array designs that use high-strain one-piece carbon fiber composite material. The stored strain energy of the booms provides the deployment capability, and once they're deployed, the booms provide the array's structural stiffness and their strength. There's a series of bolts and restraints that have to be undone by the crew members during the course of the installation process to first tightly install the arrays onto that mounting bracket and then eventually deploy them. In the foreground right now is Space Station Commander Aki Hoshide from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency as he watches over Vande Hei and MacArthur prepare Pesquet and Kimbrough for their activities outside of the International Space Station today. The objectives today is to remove the second iROSA or ISS rollout solar array from its flight support equipment and translate it, move it. Pesquet will be hauling it at the end of the station's robotic arm that will be driven by Megan MacArthur over to the Port 6 truss mast canister and install it on a mod kit, as was the case during the first two spacewalks by Pesquet and Kimbrough. They will then prepare for the installation of that solar array on the mast canister and complete its installation and deploy it, unfurl it on the mast canister to complete the second of the series of ISS solar array installations. There will be 4 more solar arrays flown to the International Space Station in pairs, 2 additional pairs to be flown on SpaceX Cargo Dragon missions in the future. The next pair will be installed for the 4A and 3A power channels on the Port 4 and Starboard 4 truss of the International Space Station. The final set or final pair of arrays will be for the 3B and 1A power channels on the Starboard 6 and Starboard 4 solar arrays to complete the power augmentation for the International Space Station. These are not designed to replace what are called the legacy or the older solar arrays on the station, but rather to augment their power capability for the future delivery of science payloads and new modules to be launched to the International Space Station. Our first view of the Quest airlock, about to celebrate the 20th anniversary of its use, having been installed on a mission of the shuttle Atlantis to the International Space Station in July of 2001 on the STS-104 mission. Thomas Pesquet first out, beginning the 5th spacewalk in his career.
Hey. Got crew up by 1 and Jenny, she agreed on start checking the last load our getting strap on the 6 feathers. Excuse for full, no red.
Copy, Thomas. You can agree.
I'm good.
You can store your curlock bag on your BRT. We'll also have you turn on your HECA, and then you're correct. You'll move on to inspecting the load alleviating straps on the tethers.
So that is done, Jenny, and I'm gonna, my HECA is on. I'm gonna put my green hook on my yellow hook on the green reel. Black on black. You agree?
Standby 1, Thomas. Have you turned on your HECA?
Yes, Jenny, I've turned on my HECA.
Okay, and you inspected both load alleviating straps?
Yes, I've reported this. This is done for both, and my green hook is on my, my yellow hook is on my green reel, locked, black on black.
Okay, copy. You can attach the forward safety tether green hook to your red reel.
Good work. All right, come on. See you up there. See you up there. And looks like this tether is...
Having conducted initial so-called buddy checks, making sure each other's suits are in the right configuration, Pesquet and Kimbrough now have completed the first phase of their post-egress activities. Pesquet about to make his way now over to the flight support equipment that houses the second of the ISS rollout solar arrays. He will be joined at the Port 6 work site by Shane Kimbrough a short time from now. The first order of business for Pesquet will be to use a pistol grip tool to release 2 bolts, boom end launch restraint bolts, in the first phase of ongoing activity that will ultimately result in the release of the array from its flight support equipment. That flight support equipment will be robotically transferred back to the trunk of the SpaceX cargo Dragon vehicle to be later disposed of. SpaceX, that cargo vehicle to be undocked from the International Space Station on July 6th for an entry and splashdown in the Atlantic Ocean on July 7th, returning scientific payloads and other cargo from the station. Before splashdown, the trunk of Dragon will be jettisoned, and along with it, the flight support equipment that carried up these first 2 solar arrays.
No sudden movements, quick stops, quick grabs on the FSE. Wait until FSE motion dampens out before imparting any loads. While working on the FSE, you must not simultaneously impart loads, and do not contact iROSA blankets. These solar cells are fragile.
We copy all, Jenny. No touch. We covered couplings, grapple fixture, bus cable, and gentle on the FSE. CP2 copy.
Affirm.
R1 and R2 on the Venus side.
R1 and R2, referred to by Spacewalk communicator Jenny Seide, are the boom end launch restraint bolts. The first of 4 bolts. There will be 2 additional bolts for the outer deployment restraints on the iROSA or ISS rollout solar array. A good shot of Pesquet from a truss camera on the station as he begins work with a pistol grip tool to free up the array that he will transport over to the far port end of the truss or backbone of the station to hand off to Pesquet Kimbrough in this choreography that is expected to result in the installation of the array on the mounting bracket or mod kit for the 4B power channel of the Port 6 truss of the International Space Station that will be then unfolded and unfurled to its full length of about 63 feet.
Right side two. Jenny, I'm having my PGT and I'll be ready for settings on R3 and R4.
Copy, Thomas. As a reminder,
I will start with R4.
you're going to start with R4, understood, and these are the bolts. As a reminder that we will be releasing 245 turns. So we'll verify the PGT turn count is 0 before we start, and if you call out the turns at an interval of your choosing, we'll follow along with you.
Yep, that sounds good.
R3 and R4 are a pair of outer deployment restraint bolts. The second pair of bolts that Pesquet is releasing to enable the solar array to be removed from its flight support equipment.
So 3. This is 3. That's 0. Now go ahead and drive R4.
Copy.
This is Mission Control continuing to take questions in on hashtag AskNASA from our viewers. Twitter user asks, how do the astronauts get their tools out of the tool bag while spacewalking, as they might drift away in space? All these tools are in a device called a tool caddy, which is essentially a tool bag that they carry along with them and which is double tethered to various positions along the paths of their movements on the outside of the International Space Station. They simply reach into the bag, pull out a tool, make sure it's securely tethered in place so it doesn't float away, and then use those tools as necessary. Kate on Twitter asks, do all the astronauts train for solar array EVAs or spacewalks like Thomas and Shane are conducting? The answer, not exactly. All crews flying on the International Space Station have crew members who are trained in generic tasks, contingency tasks, in the event certain critical hardware is broken and must be replaced, and then mission-specific tasks, such as the ones we're watching for this solar array work. They are specifically trained for by crew members on the assumption that they're going to be aboard the International Space Station at the time that hardware arrives in orbit.
Copy, Shane. You'll be translating to the FSE grapple tower. Just coordinate with Thomas when moving on the FSE.
"255 miles over Idaho, Thomas Pesquet is at the flight support equipment. He'll be breaking torque on the final set of bolts holding the solar array that you see at the top of your screen to that structure.
After 12-inch 760 on the socket caddy, je click pour test. Now I'm retrieving the 5/8 12-inch my PD.
Copy, and good pull test on the 7/16 12-inch.
Going tomorrow. Doing good. I'm here ready to come on the FSC whenever you're ready. Oh, okay. No hurry. Your safety tether there. You're at the crew lock bag right now? I'm at the crew lock bag. Working on my packet swap. Should I go on this routing to get it? Didn't copy that, Senor. Breaking up a little bit. Yeah, which route should I take to get there to not interfere? I think it doesn't really matter. I think my sit tether is kind of more nadir right now, and I'll go nadir for those bolts. So you can go Zenith. Tether as well. Try to avoid that. Getting on right now. I'm clear of your tether. Are you on the FSC? I am. On the Zenith side now.
Shane Kimbrough now joining Pesquet at the flight support equipment to lend a hand as Pesquet is about to work with his pistol grip tool to release a final pair of bolts holding the solar array that you see at the very top of your screen to this flight support equipment. The two arrays, this first pair of arrays, were launched in the trunk of the SpaceX Cargo Dragon vehicle a few weeks ago. This flight support equipment will be robotically detached from its location that you see on the truss and reinstalled in the trunk of Dragon. SpaceX is scheduled to undock the Cargo Dragon vehicle on July 6th and deorbit for a splashdown in the Atlantic Ocean the following day, bringing home scientific experiments and other cargo. The trunk of Dragon will be jettisoned and disposed of with that flight support equipment prior to the re-entry of the Dragon for its parachute-assisted splashdown in the Atlantic Ocean.
Braking torque, and your settings are Bravo 3, counter 2.
Up to half-stone braking torque, Bravo 3, counter 2.
Affirm.
EV1. And good gloves.
Copy, Thomas. You'll be installing a square scoop on the root beam microsquare near Charlie 12. The handle will be facing nadir.
Copy. Mark.
Thomas Pesquet about to complete the loosening of bolts holding the ISS rollout solar array in place on its flight support equipment.
And the scoop is locked. Pointing nadir on the micro fixture next to Charlie 12 or Charlie 6.
Copy, Thomas. Remove your RET and translate back to the tower handrail. Also, check HAP is dry.
HAP dry. Let's just link back to the tower handrail.
Copy.
Straight foot here, Tom. Wait on you. Yep.
Thomas, when you're ready, you can give SSRMS a go to maneuver.
I'd like to change my eyes on the tether because it's kind of behind my back.
I have eyes on now, Tomas.
Yeah?
Got through about 2 feet above you is my tether.
Okay.
But I'll watch it.
Look good to you?
Yep, it's good right now.
That was my EPFR look. Look good?
That looks great.
Okay. With that, Mark, I am ready for the maneuver to the ingress back-off position.
After we're putting that work, we'll give you a call when we start moving.
That's great. Thanks, Shane, for your help.
Well, we're a switch throw away from joint LCAS 1 of 1 in Vern.
Thanks, Mark. I am ready for motion.
Starting that motion.
And I see good motion.
Two hours into today's spacewalk, Thomas Pesquet now being maneuvered toward the solar array at the very bottom of your screen. Shane Kimbrough nearby as he monitors this part of the procedure that will result in the release of the array, and then Pesquet will be maneuvered as he holds the array over to the P6 work site.
Coming over here tomorrow, looking good.
All right, thanks, Shane.
By the way, Tomas, this is a total of 2 minutes in the joint LCAS. I don't think I told you that earlier, so I'm not sure how far into that we are.
Okay, Mark, sounds good. And getting close to iROSA, so it's all good. Probably a bit more.
Seconds to hand over.
Happy Jenny. All right, Shane, you ready?
Copy that. I'm in position and I'm ready.
Okay. Light it up. Feels like it's released.
Pitching up on my end.
Yeah. Out of control. It's full and stable. Okay. And Shane, up to you for the maneuver.
Hey, Mark and Megan, you have a go to the back off position.
Copy. We're taking the brakes off, and we're going to move reference to Tomas' body axis 3 meters body up.
Copy.
We're starting that motion.
I feel good motion.
Copy.
And you tell me how to orient iROSA.
Yeah, I'm seeing good motion now.
Copy.
Hey, right there, Tomas.
Staying stable.
Moving free.
Yeah. Okay, now it's...
Almost 2 hours, 20 minutes into the spacewalk, the second iROSA rollout solar array now being extracted from its flight support equipment by Thomas Pesquet at the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm. as visual assistance is being lended by Shane Kimbrough, who will move over to the P6 worksite at the base of the far left side of the station, where this array will be installed on the opposite side from which the 2B solar array was installed this past Sunday.
Started that motion.
Good motion.
Good motion.
Looks like it's settling again.
Yeah.
Stop motion, Mark.
Motion.
I think it's on the my left, like on the inboard side. Feels like there's some friction.
Move it freely again. I just moved.
Oh, it feels like it's touching on something.
Okay, good.
Can you translate zenith and look maybe? Look down from the zenith side of the FSE.
Yeah, Jenny, you go with me going over to the other side?
Yeah, we are. We're following along, Shane, and we agree you should go to the Zenith inboard side. Check it out.
Thomas Pesquet now in firm control of the iROSA solar array. It is now out of its flight support equipment structure. Shane Kimbrough will move over to the P6 truss worksite to receive a handoff of the array from Pesquet once Pesquet is maneuvered over to that location by astronaut Megan MacArthur, operating the Canadarm2 robotic arm from her robotic workstation inside the International Space Station.
How much more to go, Mark?
Got 15 more centimeters. Okay, motion is stopped. We're setting up for a joint OCAS.
Copy. Ready for motion.
Mark?
Shane, you can perform a socket swap to the 5/8 2-inch socket on your PGT.
It's in work. Let me get full test on the 12-inch on the socket caddy.
Tomorrow we're set up for the second OCAS.
Copy.
Full test on the Q-links on my PD.
Copy. Shane, after you stow your PGT, you'll be retrieving Thomas' green hook from the port CETA cart.
Hey, Mark, I don't have visual references anymore, so if you can give me a heads up when the motion up so that I can control and prepare the iROSA.
Yeah, we'll give you. I'll tell you when we start ramping out.
Yeah. Great, thanks.
And Thomas, just for your awareness, some of these maneuvers will bring you close to the 2A solar array. It'll be on your left side. We understand you're in the dark right now, but if you do see it, we don't want it to surprise you. We have good clearance from the ground, and so do M1 and M2 from their procedure.
Ramping out.
Copy. Alright, and I see the solar array. Towards my feet, I believe it's forward.
And that motion is complete.
Copy. Nice work.
As we take questions on hashtag AskNASA, a Twitter user asks, does Thomas simply put his feet in the foot restraint and they are secure, or does he use something else to secure them? No, he simply slips his feet into the foot restraint. He is tethered to other structures at the same time to make sure he is securely fastened, but it's simply putting feet in a foot restraint, slipping those feet in to the foot restraint, which is attached to the various structures at the work sites. Another Twitter user, Wayne, asks, is the rollout solar array that was deployed last week actually supplying power to the International Space Station? The answer is yes. It is up and running in perfect fashion, supplying about 20 kilowatts of power, as will all the other solar arrays.
All right, Samad, they come in.
All right.
Doing all right?
I'm doing good.
Shane, now that you're in the APFR, check your tools and tethers are clear and your ingress 8 is stowed.
The tools and tethers are clear. I just cleared my safety tether a little bit. Ingress 8 is stowed.
Check your
Be ready for Tuesday.
visor, glove heaters, cooling are set. Your heels are secure and your gauntlets are down.
Visor, glove heaters set. Glove heaters are off. What else, Jenny? I'm sorry.
Heels are secure and gauntlets down.
Gauntlets are down.
Spacewalk communicator Jenny Seide providing Shane Kimbrough with instructions as he moves into a portable foot restraint to accept a handoff of the ISS rollout solar array from Thomas Pesquet, the International Space Station about to cross the west coast of Canada, flying just north of Vancouver.
Copy, Mark and Megan. I'm ready for the GCA.
All right, Shane, great. That GCA will be relative to Tomas' body frame. Will be 2 meters body in. How's that sound?
That sounds good. I'm ready.
Okay, we'll call that start GCA. Starting motion.
I see good motion.
Happy, good motion.
And a good view of the second of the 6 rollout solar arrays to be installed on the International Space Station. Currently being held by Thomas Pesquet, about to hand them off to Shane Kimbrough.
I can reorient it as long as you let me know. You can put a hand on it. Put a hand on it, and
Okay, I have a red on it now.
okay. I feel you're taking control.
I don't have control yet, but try to get to the second hand now. Roll it to your left.
Roll it to my left. That's okay. More.
I think that's good right there.
Okay, let it settle. A minute. Okay.
Now, you can let go for a second. Let me reorient it a little bit.
Okay, so I'm letting go of one hand. I still have one hand on it.
Oh, here.
Is that good for you?
Almost. Okay, I have control.
Okay, you have control. So release my breath. Try not to give motion to iROSA, because I have a big moment arm here. I move it. Okay. Alright, my red is, you have a red on it, right, Shane?
Correct.
Okay, my red is released. I have control, and it is nice and stable. So you're pitching down a bit. I guess that's fine.
Ground copies all.
Down, Shane.
With a good handoff, when you're ready, Thomas, you can give SSRMS a go to maneuver to the back-off position.
You're still pitching down, Shane, right? Have control? Can you get me?
I'm hearing you, Tomas.
Yeah. You're pitching down, right? You're aware?
I'll try to pitch out to correct that, but is it?
It's pitching down. As soon as I let go of my hand, it's pitching down. I mean, down. Here. I see it's pitching down. Do you want me to bring it back up?
It seems like a good position, but no.
Yeah, but it's, as soon as I let go, it takes quite a rate.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. feel like it's moving at all.
Yeah, but it's moving. I can see on that end. It is still pitching down a little bit.
I pitch it up.
It's going down on my end.
Changing relative to me.
I think it's very slight on your end, but it's significant on my end. Like compared to when I let go, it traveled by 1 meter already. But do you have a structure in view at your feet or something?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so you have a reference. So I'll let go. It's stable now. Got it? Okay. And Mark and Megan, I'm go for maneuvering the back off position.
Copy the go for the post handoff back off.
Looking good and stable, Shane. Nice work.
So, Mark, can you give us a tethers and tools check?
So I've my tethers are cleared from the iROSA. My tools are nicely typed in. I am ready for motion. Everything's clear.
Okay, we're starting that back off maneuver. Starting motion.
Copy.
That motion is started.
Your motion started. I see good motion.
Copy, good motion.
All right, Shane.
Shane Kimbrough in firm control of the iROSA solar array. Thomas Pesquet being backed away from that location. He will get out of the foot restraint and then join Kimbrough back at the P6 truss worksite to begin the process of mounting the array onto the mod kit or mounting bracket that's at the base of the P6 solar arrays where the integrated electronics assembly is located.
Starting motion. We haven't started that motion yet.
Copy.
Now we're starting motion.
All right. And I feel good motion.
Copy.
Station Houston, space to ground for everybody. Big picture on what's next. So we're currently at EVA PET of just over 3 hours. Our working eco start is in about 37 minutes. We see the limiting consumable is EV2 battery of 753. Our plan when we get back to the egress position is after the tether swap, we're going to actually pull the APFR off the SSRMS and stick it in a nearby whiff. And we believe that's going to save us time on the other end and protect us in case we get into that third eclipse of the day. So we're looking to save some time on the other end. And that's the big picture for now. How copy?
V1 copies. 2 copies.
Some copies. Tomorrow, that first journal cast is complete. Set up for number 2.
Copy. Ready.
Tomorrow we're switching away from the second of two joint OCASs. This one's in course, 2 minutes.
Copy, Mark, ready.
Starting that motion.
Hey, Dre, where's Tomas taking that APFR? Sorry, I missed it.
Sorry, Shane, say again?
Drew called down and said you're going to move the APFR somewhere.
Yeah, I copy that.
Where are you going?
I don't know. It's sitting in a reef nearby, but there aren't more words, I guess.
I have words on that if you want it now, Tomas.
I want it now. Thanks.
You'll be doing the tether swap, and then when you remove the APFR, you'll be stowing it in WIF 13, which will be on your left. It is on the A-frame. There will also be a WIF right in front of you, but we do not want to use that WIF as it's right in the way of the translation path coming inboard.
You're reading my mind, Jenny. Okay, that sounds good. I see the WIF 13 on the A-frame, the left of handrail 5311, where I'll do the tether swap. And I was looking at the one that would put the APFR in the way, so good call there.
All good words. And to confirm, you also will not need to change any of the settings on the APFR. When you stow it in WIF 13, your clocking will be 6. I'll give that to you again later.
Copy. See you.
Did you say good motion?
I did say good motion.
Okay, good motion. Three meters to go.
Motion.
It's in the grasp of Shane Kimbrough. We had a view from his HD camera for a moment. Now you're looking at Tomas Pesquet being moved back to a position where he will get out of the foot restraint at the end of the Canadarm2. He transported the array over to hand off to Kimbrough after the array was released from its flight support equipment on the truss of the station. Pesquet will join Kimbrough back at the P6 truss worksite for the installation of that array on a mounting bracket at the base of the mast canister that houses the legacy or heritage, the original solar arrays for the P6 truss, to which this second rollout solar array is being attached to join the first such array that was installed this past Sunday.
5. And that's the whole position. How is that looking, Tomas?
It's looking fantastic. It is great motion. Do you stay complete?
Stay complete. Brakes are on. Go for ATFR egress.
Copy, brakes are on.
Ground copy.
Jenny, I am ready for my PFR egress.
Okay, with your waist tether down on handrail 5311, check the gate is closed and locked.
And my right waist tether down on 5311, and the gate is closed and locked.
Copy. You can egress the APFR, and then we'll GCA if required in order to access your yellow hook and the APFR.
I am out of the APFR. Yeah, it'd be nice to have kind of 50 centimeters station forward, possible, or that towards body up if we were in internal coordinates before.
Yep, we copied 50 centimeters, APFR boot plate up or body up if you're in your old reference frame. Does that make sense?
That sounds good. That's perfect, Mark.
Okay, are you clear for us to start that GCA?
Yeah, I've actually had a hand on the finger state to keep it away from me. Can go for a GCA.
Okay, we're going to ramp this in slowly, starting with motion. And that's a start GCA.
Yeah, start GCA.
Copy, good motion.
With Megan MacArthur at the controls of the Canadarm2 robotic arm, Mark Vandehei providing visual cues alongside of her in the International Space Station at the robotics workstation. The robotic arm being backed away from Thomas Pesquet now that he's out of the foot restraint. He soon will be joining Shane Kimbrough back at the P6 worksite. Kimbrough with a firm grasp on the ISS solar array, the rollout solar array, the second of 6 such rollout solar arrays. A good view of those arrays right now that will be installed on a mounting bracket, unfolded and unfurled for the 4B power channel on the P6 truss of the International Space Station.
For now, but we'll go too far.
Okay, so we haven't stopped the GCA yet, unless you say to stop GCA complete.
I think GCA complete for now.
GCA complete. And you have the clearances there.
I have the clearances.
Okay, with that, we'll call it a start GCA.
Start GCA.
Starting GCA and starting motion.
Good motion.
Copy, good motion. Five to go.
To that position.
And that's the 20 centimeters you asked for, Tomar. How's that look?
Yeah, that looks good. Thank you.
So you call that GCA complete?
That's GCA complete.
Make sure on.
Got your brakes on.
Ground copies, brakes on.
On my yellow hook, Jenny, on my green reel, locked black on black, and the reel, both reels are unlocked.
Copy. That is a good tether config. You can ret to the APFR and remove it from the arm.
Each of these new arrays will be capable of producing about 20 kilowatts of electricity to augment the current power output of the station's older solar arrays. In all, 6 of the 8 power channels on the station will receive arrays, those power channels drawing the greatest loads or the greatest requirements for electrical consumption for payloads and other hardware that they are associated with. The technology from these rollout solar arrays that are being installed on the space station is also going to be used in the Gateway program in lunar orbit. The Gateway is an outpost under development that will orbit the moon, providing support for a long-term human return to the lunar surface and a staging point for deep space exploration. The arrays to be used for the Gateway program are, and particularly for the power and propulsion element of Gateway, will be a bit larger than the rollout solar arrays being installed on the space station. A single iROSA or station rollout solar array measures 60 feet by 15 feet, while the solar array wing contemplated for Gateway will be 60 feet in length and 32 feet wide. The two arrays to be installed on the power and propulsion element of Gateway in the future will produce about 60 kilowatts of power. Gateway to use the power to move around the moon while performing lunar exploration tasks, technology demonstrations, and other experiments.
The incremental yaw is replaced. The setting of 2. I think it's better, so we'll do that.
Understand? Do that. Warning, pitch point, keep clear of rotating iROSA. Thomas, make sure that you are on the outboard side of the mounting bracket.
Copy. Pinch point, we'll make sure.
So I can't see you.
I have control.
You have control.
So I'm going to magically engage chain.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Looking forward to that.
The two spacewalkers now are beginning to unfold the rollout solar array to its full extension. The array will be tethered into place for a short period of time while we reconfigure foot restraints prior to the point at which the two spacewalkers will attempt to straighten it to its full extension.
Okay, along the tethers.
One on the handrail that you're holding on to, and there's one above you. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Cool, and then ready for pushing. Pushing and pulling.
And Thomas, check the right mode soft capture feature is down.
That's a good call, Jenny. It is not up. That's why we're not going anywhere. A good call. Okay, now it's down.
4 hours, 22 minutes into the spacewalk, Pesquet and Kimbrough using the troubleshooting methods that were developed following the first spacewalk back on June 16th.
All right, we're in. We're done.
Soft capture is up.
We copy. Well done, you two.
That's fun.
All right. So at this point, hardware meets the minimal structural configuration for mating cables during eclipse. We are going to push with driving R7 and R8, the hinge bolts. Shane, you're currently in position, but we understand you might want Thomas to drive these bolts.
All right, you can drive for sure. On my PGT.
The two spacewalkers using a bit of elbow grease and the troubleshooting techniques of jostling the array into its firm capture position achieved success, setting the stage for the driving of a series of bolts, hinge restraints, to make sure that the array is securely fastened to the mounting bracket at the base of the P6 solar array truss structure.
That was M31, green light. 9.13 on the turns.
Oh, M34. M34, 34.
I copy M34 and repeat the torque.
22.2.
22.2. Confirm black line flush.
Black line flush.
Copy M34.
Which is the next one, Jenny?
The remainder of the bolts, the order doesn't matter, but on your side, I show 36.
Okay, that was M32. 22.4 turns in 12 revolutions. Backline flush, thanks.
Copy and confirm green light and torque.
Green light and torque and 22.4.
Copy 22.4 green light, that was M32.
Yep, correct. Okay.
33 is next.
We'll go for cables. Thomas, demate P9 from blanket box power panel P9.
Okay.
Likewise, Shane, demate P7 from blanket box panel P7.
I need demated and have good pins. All the EMI, good EMI band on P9.
Copy.
Connect generate.
You can mate P9 alpha to P9, Thomas.
And P7.
Copy, Shane.
P7 demated, looking at P7 alpha. Good EMI band. Good on the side.
Copy, Shane. Mate P7 alpha to P7.
25.5 foot-pounds. And how many turns do you want on the 10?
Until fully released, we have written 17 to 20, but last time it was more. A white line should appear when fully released.
Copy.
The electrical systems officer here in Mission Control has given the green light for the unfurling of the new rollout solar array once this final launch restraint bolt is released by Thomas Pesquet. You see him using a pistol grip tool as we speak to complete that work. It should take between 6 and 10 minutes or so for the array to fully deploy. The first array that was installed for the 2B power channel on the P6 truss on Sunday took 10 minutes to deploy.
Copy, Thomas. We're doing our final check.
The second ISS rollout solar array now fully deployed.
Okay, Thomas, you are right.
We're double checking the dimensions. It appears to be fully deployed, and it took 10 minutes again, just as the first array did back on Sunday.
Ready for setting, Jay?
Alpha 1, clockwise, or counter, excuse me.
Thomas Pesquet now will use a pistol grip tool to release two tensioning bolts that will provide full tensioning for the newly deployed blanket. And at that point, the crew will begin cleanup work. So everything went exceedingly well with the installation and deployment of this second ISS solar array, the rollout solar array, the second of 6 to be installed at the International Space Station.
Indigo, Fox 11.
All right. R12 release, stopped out, Jenny.
Copy, R12 released.
On Thomas.
Doing good. Working on that scoop. On an ADT. Throw it in the bag and then it's bag.
Ground copies, Thomas.
Okay.
Jenny, the AFR is added to the airlock.
Copy. Great work, Shane.
We got that thing in here for you.
Torque Shane.
All right, Shane, and I have confirmation now that you have stowed that APFR, you can ingress the airlock.
Okay, Jenny, I'm in.
Sounds good. Well done. Shane, you can turn off your HECA if not already complete.
Okay, it's off.
Copy. You have your go?
You have a go?
All right, Shane, your yellow hook is down, my red reel locked, black on black, red reel is unlocked.
Copy, Thomas. You can retrieve your anchor hook and stow it on your mini workstation.
My anchor hook is on my mini workstation, Jenny.
Copy. Continue your translation to the airlock.
Shane, are you hooked up to the STU or not?
No, I'm not.
No?
Get on that call.
Okay.
Never. Yeah, no hurry.
Regarding the SCU, there's no pressure to get on it as our consumables are in good shape, and we just want to give you lots of flexibility to maneuver in the airlock with the APFR in there. So it's up to you.
Good, Jenny. Send you a call.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it now.
We copy, Shane.
AFU is on and locked.
Copy, Shane.
I'm going down to see a spare, Jenny.
Copy. Tama, we see you almost back at the airlock. You'll be handing in your crew lock bag to Shane.
Yes. Shane, I'm at the airlock.
All right, welcome back.
Thank you. Here's a crew lock bag.
Clear. Got it.
Your RT still attached to it, sorry.
Fair enough.
What?
You want me to let it go?
I can't hear what you're saying.
You want me to let it go so you can get it?
Yeah, no, that's good. If you can put a wrap on it.
Yep. Got a wrap.
Okay, I'll release my BRT.
I have the bag.
Yeah, and can you release my BRT?
Yep.
Right?
Sure will.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Yeah, there you go. Hi, Jenny, that is complete.
Copy, Tama. You can turn your HECA off and ingress the airlock. When you do so, verify the forward hatch pit pins engaged.
All right, others looks good. Forward pit pin is engaged. No problem. Work on my HECA. Now, Jenny, that wire tie stays outside, or do you want me to bring it back in?
That'll stay outside.
Shane, I'm going to ingress. If you can scoot as much.
I'm forward and
Forward.
the bags are aft.
Okay.
Plenty of room. You can keep the bags.
Okay, I'm in. Now, I'll grab the thermal cover.
Copy.
Okay.
Tama, attach the hook to the magnetic D ring, cinch the strap until snug, and report the number of Sharpie lines visible.
Okay, good work. And my legs change down towards the maker.
Pull them down.
Yeah.
Try it. How's that?
Good. Thanks. We're pulling me back out.
This is Mission Control Houston. The repressurization of the Quest airlock is continuing in good fashion. Shane Kimbrough and Thomas Pesquet safely back inside following a 6-hour, 45-minute spacewalk today to install and unfurl the second of the 2 new ISS rollout solar arrays. We have statistics for you. This was the 241st spacewalk in support of ISS assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. The 9th spacewalk conducted out of the International Space Station this year. This was the 9th spacewalk in Shane Kimbrough's career. He now has a total of 59 hours and 28 minutes of spacewalking time, which ties him for 6th on the all-time list with Russian cosmonaut Fyodor Yurchikhin. Thomas Pesquet now with 5 spacewalks to his log, a total of 33 hours even of spacewalking time. The 241 spacewalks in ISS history now have totaled 1,519 hours and 41 minutes, which is the equivalent of 63 days, 7 hours, and 41 minutes of spacewalking time.
Houston, airlock on Space to Ground 1. We're ready for your comm reconfig and step 4 of closed CVA.
Houston copies. That is in work. I'll call you when they are no longer hot mic.
Copy, thanks.
Shane Kimbrough now back inside the equipment lock with the hatch open. Thomas Pesquet waiting his turn.
Airlock Houston, Space to Ground 1 crew is no longer hot mic.
Copy, thanks.